Good morning. It's Friday, February 6, 2015. This is Tech Talk Today, episode 129. My name is Chris, and it's a good Friday. There's a few stories I want to cover, but I've decided every now and then on Fridays we're going to experiment with the show and do something fun. And this week we're going to step in the Wayback Machine. We're going to go back and look at the state of virtual reality the last time it was big. I'll tell you more about that in a second, and I think you're going to really enjoy that. But first, we've got a little bit of news to get through, so let me bring in our Mumble Room. Time-appropriate greetings, Mumble Room.
Hello.
Hey. Hello.
Greetings.
Hello.
Experiment.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hello. That was exploding in my ear. So let's talk about this story about the... I love the headline. I mean, the headline alone got a lot of attention. You guys probably all saw this. The world's email encryption software relies on one man who's going broke. And, of course, it's about GNU Privacy Guard. And it talks about how he wasn't making any money. However, did you guys see that since this story ran, actually, and this is sort of a little Friday good news, he got a good chunk of change from the Core Infrastructure Initiative. That's the project backed by the Linux Initiative, or I'm sorry, the Linux Foundation. So he's going to get quite a bit of money. I think he's also got like $137,000 in donations. Did you guys hear about this story?
I heard about it. I honestly think that it's unfortunate we don't get to know these situations early enough.
Right. And also what's interesting is that during the interview, I guess, he couldn't talk about the money from the foundation either, which this Core Infrastructure Foundation is what came out after Heartbleed and a lot of these major vulnerabilities where the Linux Foundation said, all right, let's get some companies together and let's spend some money on investing in the things that we rely on that all you commercial companies like Google and Amazon make money from. And so this is a great use of that money, I think. So this story, we'll have the full link in the show notes if you want to read about what happened in this situation. It's very fascinating about, how someone who makes such important free software, it doesn't always mean they're making a lot of money. But I'm really glad to see something like this come along. Now, I wanted to keep it positive today. So, go ahead. Any other thoughts?
No, and really surprises me that Google and friends didn't pick it up earlier, because if you will think about any open source project for them to sponsor, this will be the one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
I like the way how the Linux Foundation is helping other open source projects instead of keeping it to itself.
It's not necessarily a kernel thing. It's not like going to make Linux sell more on the servers, or it's not going to make the Linux Foundation more money necessarily.
Helping the fellow open source
but community. Certainly will at least avoid the Windows shaming, because Windows had a lot of issues because of software related to Windows, not necessarily Windows, and this is going to be an extremely advantageous strategy to not blame Linux as the problem.
Right, it's very long term, isn't it? It's good long term thinking, in other words.
Yes.
Yeah, good assessment. I totally agree. So I've been watching a couple of stories over the week that I haven't reported on because, I kind of have a high threshold for what I want to bring into the show. And one has been, just repeating all week, is the advertising potential of virtual reality. And this has been stories I'm trying to wrap my brain around. Is virtual reality really going to be a thing? I'm a big fan of my Oculus SDK, for sure. But I can't help but be a little jaded. So to set us up here, I want to show you Samsung's introduction to the world of Gear VR and what their uses are for virtual reality. We'll start there, and then we'll kind of go back and look at previous virtual reality attempts. So, and if you recall, we've talked about the Gear virtual reality before on the show. It's based on Oculus VR technology, but relies on a Note headset.
Samsung has made the exciting world of virtual reality a reality with Gear VR Innovator Edition. Powered by Oculus and the Galaxy Note 4, Gear VR is a virtual reality headset that lets you experience games, movies, and more like never before. You simply insert the Galaxy Note 4 into place and put it on. Then select Milk VR and get ready to be amazed. And you're gonna want some serious sound.
Whoa. What a view.
Gear VR plunges you into a totally immersive 360 environment. What do you think?
Feels like I'm really there.
You can see things from a whole new perspective. Ready for another adventure? Navigate menus, explore worlds, and play games by simply turning your head, swiping, and tapping the side-mounted touchpad.
And now I'm on a safari.
Gear VR brings the experience to life. And where are you? I'm in a really intense battle. Take that! Looks like the best seat in the house. Up, down, side to side, even behind you. Everywhere you look, you're in the action. Wow. And it all happens on the Super AMOLED screen on the Galaxy Note 4. The world of virtual reality is finally here, with Samsung Gear VR Innovator Edition, powered by Oculus, and the Galaxy Note 4.
Powered by Oculus. So that's Samsung's pitch to the world about why you need virtual reality. Now, I gotta say, it is maybe a little more realistic than previous virtual reality sales attempts, but you still gotta wonder if this is really gonna work with the general public. Go ahead.
I don't like the fact that I have to stick a phablet into the front of a headset.
Yeah. I mean, let's excuse that, and let's just focus on the virtual reality aspect right now. And I want to take a look at a demo of something that reminds me a lot of the Oculus Rift. That really kind of, it seems to me, almost exactly like we have today with just lower graphics. And when it gave me pause, I want to play this clip for you, and I'll have a link to the full video in the show notes if you're on the audio feed. But let's take a look at this as a little trip in the Wayback Machine to 1992 and the state of virtual reality.
As this moves, the picture moves.
Oh, wait, hold on. You know what? I just remembered. I got to take this out of VLC. Hold on one sec. Definitely a plug for the wonderful MPV video player, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have
as this moves,
awesome.
the picture moves.
Excuse me, Chris.
Yes.
You have a volunteer.
You'd like to try it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would.
So Linda will go into the world of virtual reality.
I'm in it.
All right. And we're seeing then on this computer monitor what she is seeing.
There it is.
And so she tilts her head left,
and look
right,
left.
up,
Actually,
down,
I can
etc.
move her in a little closer here, and she actually can get much more of a feel of just how large this model is. And as I change, say,
now what are you changing, Chris?
I'm changing gravity there so that the pull on these tetras is slightly smaller.
So,
and
Linda,
actually,
your world is changing as he's adjusting this.
I'm getting lighter and lighter, Stuart.
So if you just sight in on one of those, whoa, here, just here, steady down, and let's grab one.
Okay. How about that
so
one?
you're going to make that object heavy.
Yeah, and it settles down a little more.
And so Linda,
you can see that actually more if we increase gravity here.
Whoops! So Linda has to bring her head down to keep up with you.
Right. And so that adds in then that additional spatial sense.
Okay, now can we add the glove element now? What does this do?
Okay, well actually, in order to add the glove, I'm going to move over to another demo. This is actually older software than what we're
so not the latest
stuff working with. Not the latest
show
stuff,
how the glove
but it
works
provides a good example of just how glove interaction might happen. So put this on, one finger per standard issue. This is good. That's good. Okay.
So now basically this glove is the input device and the goggles are the output device for Linda.
Right.
So she can determine now what she's going to look at by pointing?
By pointing where she wants to move within the model. So at this point, if you make a fist...
So you're going to calibrate the glove right now. So it knows what a fist is and what an open hand
right,
is.
and it's
and now we can see her hand on the screen in this environment. And Linda, tell us, what are you doing now? What's your experience?
Well, I'm definitely in cyberspace.
Now, that was a very clunky demo, just like an Oculus demo today. Now, it makes you give you pause. It makes you wonder if perhaps when you see some of the excitement around virtual reality today, if we take a step back to 1992, is it really so much different? I know it's hard for you guys to comment in the mumble room, but did you get the impression of how similar that was to the VR today, and does it give you pause?
It doesn't give me pause. I actually think that it's very feasible right now. If we look back, the 3D television and cinema already existed in the 50s. So we were just needing the proper hardware. We had the algorithms, we had the knowledge, we didn't have the hardware. Nowadays we have it in an easy, consumable way and cheap. So I think now it's time.
I hope you're right. I hope that's the difference. Plus, now you also have the internet, right? You have the connected internet that allows people to communicate over VR. Now, here's the thing, though, and this is going to be our ending clip. I was just going to leave this out there for food for thought for the audience. I want to hear your feedback in the subreddit. So go over to techtalktoday.reddit.com and let me know your thoughts on this. I'm going to play. So where we're at today with virtual reality is not actually even as far as we've been once before. Once before, it was so close to being an industry that it actually launched its own trade show kind of like a Comdex or a CES, just for virtual reality. And the reason why they thought it was going to be different this time is because the internet would change everything. So for food for thought, as we wrap up Tech Talk today on a Friday edition, watch this clip and tell me in the subreddit if you think if you've changed your mind at all about the state of virtual reality. Maybe if it's turned down the excitement a little bit. For me, I'm still pretty excited, but I want to hear what you think after you watch this Trade Expo from 1992.
Right, indeed, we'll see several virtual...
Oh, yeah, right, VLC. So anyways, apparently VLC hates me today. Again, another plug for MPV. See you on Tuesday, everybody. Tuesday through Friday. Tech Talk Today starts at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, jblive.tv, jupiterbroadcasting.com/calendar to get that in your local time. Now I leave you with this clip. You tell me what you think about the state of
we'll see several virtual reality applications today, including the Virtual Hand, the Data Glove, the Cyber Glove, and Cyber CAD. Now, you know a product category is maturing when it gets its own trade show. Well, at the recent Software Development Conference in Santa Clara, California, there it was, the Virtual Reality Show.
It's not quite Comdex yet, but it was the computer industry's first virtual reality exhibit. AI Expert magazine hosted the show, which included 6 VR vendors and products that were still clearly in the development stage.
We're looking at the Model T Fords of virtual reality. Resolution is low, the headgear is uncomfortable, but what's exciting about this showcase is the promise of the technology.
Crystal River Technology was one of the exhibitors. While everyone else seems to be focusing on the visual aspects of virtual reality, their approach is to work on virtual audio.
Since the visual systems that we're working with today are not very good, it's very difficult to build a very precise stereo imagery system. But we can build a very precise audio imagery system, and we're closer to closing the loop all the way to perfection. That is, building systems that are almost mistakable for real life.
You may think you need expensive equipment to experiment with virtual reality, but one company here claims to have an inexpensive system that lets you turn CAD drawings into virtual reality environments.
We provide full virtual reality functionality, working on a standard IBM-compatible PC, all being done with no programming required by the end user. So a complete, easy to use, and I don't want to forget, affordable virtual reality system that people can actually load on a stock PC.
But what can you actually do with the stuff? At Straylight Corporation, they're already planning the virtual shopping mall.
Another application is marketing research, where people are planning out store shelf plans, and researchers will take hundreds of subjects through a store that's a virtual store and let them select packages and items on the shelves and try different arrangements to find out what the most attractive arrangement will be for a particular product.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Maria Gabriel.